Donald Trump's lawyers will begin his defense against charges of insurrection on Friday, in an argument they plan to present in a concise and simple format taking only a few. David Shane and Bruce Castor, the two impeachment lawyers heading up Trump's case, have 16 hours from midday on Friday to convince the Senate to acquit him, but they are expected to take only 2 to 3 hours to lay out their arguments, believing their succinct case requires no lengthy explanation. A vote could come as soon as Saturday, following 4 hours of questions from senators, after an agreement was reached to continue the sessions throughout the weekend. Trump's defense team had initially requested the Senate pause the proceedings from Friday at 5 p.m. until Sunday, but on Wednesday, Trump's defense withdrew the requested break on Saturday, allowing the trial to continue without a break into the weekend. Share this article. Share on Thursday night, the pair of lawyers representing the former president met with Republican senators including Ted Cruz, who will serve as the jury in a final. The Republican team planned to make 4 key points on Friday. Axios reported on Thursday they will argue that impeachment of a former president is unconstitutional, because punishment is removal from office, and Trump is no longer in office. They will claim there was no due process when he was impeached by the House on January 13, because no witnesses were called and there were no lawyers representing. Shane and Castor will argue thirdly that Trump was exercising his First Amendment rights, and that impeaching him for that. And finally, Axios said, they will argue that impeaching Trump will not unify the country, as Joe Biden. The pair have repeatedly condemned the rioters who stormed the Capitol on January 6, and will not, Axios said, focus on Trump's words at the Stop the Steal rally he held shortly before the unrest. 5 people died in the Capitol chaos and its aftermath, a domestic attack unparalleled in U.S. history. Democrats have argued that his rhetoric riled up the rabble and drove them to attack the Capitol on his behalf. As they wrapped up their case, Democrats beseeched their congressional colleagues to vote to convict him. We humbly ask you to convict President Trump for the crime of which he is overwhelmingly guilty, said Joe Nikas, one of the 9 impeachment managers from the House of Representatives. Because if you don't, if we pretend this didn't happen, or worse, if we let it go unanswered, who's to say it won't happen again? The House impeachment managers rested their case after 2 days of arguments that included Trump's own words and hours of graphic video from the prosecutors used the rioters' own videos from that day to pin responsibility. We were invited here, said one. Trump sent us, said another. He'll be happy. We're fighting. Jamie Raskin, the lead House manager, reminded the 100 senators who are sitting as jurors of their oath to render impartial justice. Exercise your common sense about what just took place in our country, Raskin said, noting that Trump stood by doing nothing for 2 hours as his supporters rampaged through. Why did President Trump not tell his supporters to stop the attack on the Capitol as soon as he learned about it? As our constitutional commander-in-chief, why did he do nothing to send help? Raskin and his colleagues argued that Trump had been stoking tensions long before January. This pro-Trump insurrection did not spring out of thin air, Raskin said. This was not the first time Donald Trump had inflamed and incited a mob. Earlier, Joe Biden said the video evidence against his 74-year-old predecessor presented at the Senate trial may change some minds. Shane said on Thursday that the Democrats' presentation was offensive and that they haven't tied it in any way. He told reporters on Thursday at the Capitol that he believed Democrats were making the public relive the tragedy in a way that tears at the American people and impedes efforts at unity. And despite what even some Republicans have said was a strong prosecution case, Trump retains an unshakable grip on the party, making conviction hot. It would take a 2/3 majority in the 100-member Senate, meaning 17 Republicans would need to join the chamber's 50 Democrats. The proceedings could finish with a vote this weekend by the senators who are sitting as impeached.